Awesome. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, and happy New Year's. I'm Dorothy Clear, Chief City Auditor, and welcome to today's Board of Estimate and Apportionment meeting. Today is Friday, January 5th. Can't believe it's 2024, and the time is 1:30 p.m. exactly. We have joining us from the Office of Audit and Control. We have Eugene Terrell, one of our analysts. We also have joining us Joe Stetson, representing our Budget Director, Gideon Grande. And we have Sonia Frederick, our Councilwoman in the First Ward, also representing the Common Council. We'll jump right in. We have a really brief agenda, with the first item being from our law department, seeking to transfer $6,000 from contracted services to two separate accounts, miscellaneous in the amount of $1,000 and fees and services in the amount of $5,000 to cover outstanding 2023 expenses. This FYI, all of the items are related to covering outstanding expenses for 2023. The next request is from the Water Department, seeking to transfer $58,000 from two separate accounts, fees and services / special items in the amount of $51,000 and salary / administration. Those funds will be transferred into three separate accounts, contracted services / administration in the amount of $27,000, contracted services / pumping stations in the amount of $24,000. And then the last account is temporary help / administration. They are seeking to transfer $7,000 into that account. Again, covering expenses from 2023. The last budget transfer request is coming from DGS, seeking to transfer a total of $35,728 from multiple accounts. The first is other equipment / maintenance of streets in the amount of $6,000. Supplies and materials / fleet maintenance in the amount of $9,000, and supplies and materials / waste collection and recycling in the amount of $8,728, and then gasoline / waste disposal in the amount of $12,000. That total of $35,728 would then be going into three separate accounts. The first is fees and services / administration in the amount of $3,428. Other equipment / parts maintenance in the amount of $2,300. And then contracted services / central maintenance in the amount of $30,000. Again, covering 2023 expenses. Any questions regarding the agenda items? Okay. We want to conclude with, we have one legal settlement where the city is settling with Mr. Christopher Pierpont. One of our city vehicles damaged this gentleman's car, and so we have settled in the amount of $200. Any questions? With that, may I request a motion to approve the agenda as is?
Motion to approve.
We have a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Frederick.
Seconded.
We have a second from Joe Stetson. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And we will send out, so the agenda is approved as is. We will send out a formal final agenda at the end of this, before the close of business today. And may I request a motion to conclude?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion on the floor from our Councilwoman,
Seconded.
Sonia Frederick, and then we have a second from Joe Stetson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? This concludes our first. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to transition over to our lovely colleague in the clerk's office and do some. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, January 5th, 2024. Today, present, we have Joe Stetson from the Budget Department, Larissa Frontina, Corporation Counsel, Frank Zioli, Deputy Commissioner of DGS. The following was offered on behalf of Albany Water Board. Resolved that the Secretary be authorized and directed to extend the review date for bids until January 19, 2024. This is for the water and sewer supply maintenance.
Said proposals to be received by the board at the regular meeting held Friday, January 19th, 2024, at 1:30 p.m. And that each bidder is required to include a deposit equal to the amount of 5% of the total bid. The following was offered on behalf of Albany Water Board. Resolved that the secretary be authorizing directed to advertise on behalf of Albany Water Board. This is the purpose of sodium permanganate. Said proposals to be received at the board meeting, by the board at a regular meeting on Friday, January 19th, 2024, at 1:30. Each bidder is required to present each check or bid deposit equal to the amount of 5%. The following was offered on behalf of Albany Water Board. Resolved that the secretary be authorized and directed to advertise for bids the fine course aggregates. Said proposals to be received by the board at a regular meeting held Friday, January 19th, 2024, at 1:30 p.m. And that each bidder is required to present a bid deposit equal to the amount of 5%. Okay, moving on to first item for open, you have the lease of uniforms from the Department of General Services. The first one being from Universe Corporation. There are no bid deposits required. If it's okay with the board, I can send out the
Yes.
complete list of every piece of article of clothing, so I can send it out on the final agenda. Okay. The next one is from Centas. And we'll do the same with this one, and each deposit, each bidder also included articles of uniform.
I'm gonna have somebody come pick them up.
Yes.
Basically here in a minute.
Okay. Thank you. There was no bid submissions for the welding and fabrication of heavy and light equipment. Next one is street sweeping services. We had a bid submission from Kingsbury Sweeping. Bid deposits were not required. Okay, monthly service fee for routine service is $17,000. Hourly routine rate is, non-routine hourly rate is $200. Next project is the tree planting program. The first one being from Grasshopper Gardens. Bid security was not required for this one. And if it is okay with the board, I will send out the complete list of every, of the bid sheet. The next one is from Cloverleaf Nurseries and Davy Trees, and we'll do the same, we'll submit the complete list of those two as well. The following was offered on behalf of Albany Water Board. Resolved that the spoils removal be awarded to M. Romeo and Sons for $4.60 per cubic yard, as stated in their bids. Their bid submission from December 19th, 2023. The following resolution was offered on behalf of Albany Water Board. Resolved that the Albany Water Board extend the following contracts for 1 year under the same terms and conditions specified in their contracts. There's 4 contracts listed. This is the bonded concrete for the concrete project. Contract number 9270. Cranesville is the vendor for the next concrete project, contract number 9258. Contract vendor Polster and Jackal, sewer pumping station emergency repairs, contract number 9135. WMJ Keller and Sons is the next vendor for water and sewer maintenance, contract number 9424. Each contract is extended through December 31st, 2024. Can I get a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
Thank you so much.